So I thought today I would bring you along on a little micro adventure. We are going to be going out to Kamakura, where I have never been before, but we're gonna do a little hike. We're gonna see the big Buddha that's there, which I'm very excited about. And we're just gonna have a day to reconnect with ourselves, with nature, with the whole shebang, because I feel like I'm very due for it. I think sometimes living in Tokyo, the city is so busy and it's easy to kind of lose yourself in the flow of chaos and the hectic nature of life here. So I thought today, you know what, we're gonna trek out a little bit further out of the city. Now I do know that Kamakura is gaining in popularity, so fingers crossed that there won't be that many tourists there, but I'll bring you along. We'll see as we go. But I've got my bag packed. I've brought my book, my journal, my water bottle. I've got my tea to go, so let's hit the road. You know what? There is nothing like hopping on a rush hour train in the middle of summer, sweaty back to sweaty back. It is just simply my favorite thing to do. So I got on not one, not two, but 3 trains to get to Kita Kamakura station. I think the whole journey took me around an hour and a half. It wasn't actually that far, so that's a plus. When I got there, I tried to find a hike that led to the Big Buddha. However, I was being stupid idiot girl and I went the complete opposite direction. Regardless, it was a very scenic walk. I have no complaints. You know what they say, it's about the journey, not the destination. We are keeping that half glass full, what? Glass half full mindset. I can't speak English. So the whole point of doing this micro adventure was basically to show that you don't need to take time off work, get expensive accommodation, or even go to a different country, let alone a different city, to feel grounded and refreshed again. I know I personally get into the habit of sticking to my routines and not really going out of my comfort zones, but after I actually took the trek out, mind you, on one of my off days, I didn't even have to take a holiday for this, I felt so much more grounded and reconnected with myself and also with nature, which is very, very important. I realized that this is one of the main differences when I'm feeling very down or low. It's normally because I haven't actually been outside in nature in a long time. So that's definitely something to consider. Now, if I may just interrupt myself here, this was the base of one of the many shrines in this area. Now, one important custom that may be useful for you to know if you're visiting Japan in the future is the Temizu cleansing ritual. So it's customary to cleanse yourself before entering a shrine in Japan, which is what I was doing there. The particular hiking course that I went on was called the 10N hiking course, and it involved a lot of stairs, and I mean a lot of stairs. There was one part near the summit where the stairs got really narrow, and when I tell you, there was a group of maybe 30 children walking down the stairs at the same time that I was going up it. I had to step aside to let them pass. And when I tell you, I genuinely almost slipped down the mountain maybe 3 times. It was ridiculous. Okay, so fun fact. Turns out I took the wrong trail, which means I've added another hour to my original 1-hour hike. So we're going to be walking for 2 hours. And on top of that, basically, there's this really big Buddha, the Daibutsu, in Kamakura. And I thought that I was taking the trail that leads straight to it. However, I went the opposite way. So we're just going to walk this trail regardless and then try and find the big Buddha when we get down. Should I see what's inside? I'm a bit scared. This is why you can't do these things alone. Like, if someone else was here, maybe, but I'm too scared. Might slip. Might fully slip. Oh my gosh. The trail has actually been very beautiful. I'm kind of glad that we took the wrong trail because it's ended up being very, very pretty and not that crowded, which we like. I love the forest so much. I'm actually so glad I came out here. There's so many different things interplaying with each other that you don't even see, but when you look closely, there's living organisms everywhere. And another thing I noticed, there's actually not that much trash around. I haven't seen any litter, which is great. Mind you, I did bring a little garbage bag in my bag, just in case we could do a little litter pickup. But for the moment, I am just gonna take a minute and enjoy my surroundings because look how beautiful. After I finally finished my 2-hour hike, there was no doubt that your girl was starving. I hopped on a bus that took me back into town and looked for somewhere to grab a feed. There was the Studio Ghibli store I walked past, which in hindsight I do regret not going into, but what can I say? My priority was food. After I was no longer hangry, I looked up how to get to the Daibutsu from the station. I had two options. I could either walk for 27 minutes in the heat or take a 11-minute bus ride. You best believe I rode that air-conditioned bus. Also, fun fact, before I came here, I was talking to my grandma about seeing the Daibutsu, and she told me that this is the most handsome Buddha she's ever seen in her life. Now, I don't know if there's a specific ranking system or criteria that she's secretly been using, but regardless, I went to see if these rumors were true. I can't say that I felt any sort of noticeable attraction towards the statue, but you know what? It was definitely a good-looking 11.4 meter hunk of bronze. I took a short 15-minute walk down the road to the beach. There was a bunch of really cute shops on the way down, so if you do decide to come here, keep an eye out for those. I gotta say, this whole town is pretty reminiscent of the Ghibli movies. I was talking to a couple locals and some shop owners on the way to the beach, and everyone was so kind and helpful. It was actually so lovely. The weather was perfect for a swim, but unfortunately, due to the fact that I am, once again, stupid idiot girl, I didn't pack my swimmers. So I decided I would journal by the water instead, but not before immediately dropping the lid of my water bottle in the sand. Don't you just love when that happens? That is like actually one of my favorite things ever. If you know me in real life, you know that journaling is one of my favorite habits to keep up. In all honesty though, it had been a while since I wrote anything down, and I must say, I felt so much more clear-headed after a quick 5-minute brain dump. So, if you're feeling overwhelmed, I would highly recommend just dumping everything that's on your mind onto a piece of paper. I've been using a few simple prompts and techniques that make the whole process way easier. So if you'd like a breakdown of that in the future, just let me know. After journaling, I hopped on the Enoden, which is a small seaside train that winds its way back into the main part of Kamakura. I gotta say, just from that one-day little micro-adventure, I felt clearer and more grounded than I have in the past month. So, here's my challenge to you. Go on a micro-adventure this month. Explore somewhere new. Try something different. It doesn't have to be expensive or far. Sometimes, all it takes is stepping out of your routine to feel reconnected with yourself again.